Okay, creators, in today's video, we'll be going through an isometric drawing as part of our exam revision. Before we get started, here are a few key concepts you need to understand for your mid-year exam, prelim, or final exams. The first point, drawing an isometric circle. You should be able to construct an isometric circle. And then the second point, creating an auxiliary view for shapes like a triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, and octagon. So it's very important for you to be able to construct those shapes or polygons. Third point, you should be able to construct a sectional isometric drawing using a given cutting plane. So let's get started. So as you can see on the screen, I have an isometric drawing question. Uh, Obviously, I've cut out this instructions section and also the views of the given object, right? Before I start with this isometric drawing, if possible, you can just go to the description section and download this question paper, and then if you can print it, and then you come back to this video, and then you can observe and also draw with me. It's very important for you to draw and try and understand the concepts, right? For EGD, it's very important for you to observe and to try to draw whatever that you are busy with, right? Okay, so I'll just go through the instructions quickly. We are given three views of a figure in third angle orthographic projection. So obviously, you should know that isometric drawings are always in third angle orthographic projection. The second point, we are also given a cutting plane AA as seen in the top view, and also we are given the starting point on the same page, right? Okay, as you can see here, we are given three views, and these views are in third angle, right? So obviously this is the top view, this is the front view, and this is the left view, because this view is on our left hand side. And obviously if we have a top view, the top view is always aligned with the front view. The cutting plane is right there from the top view, and the cutting plane is labeled AA, right? So that means we are cutting this figure or this object right there. Obviously that means we are cutting this small section of this object, right? So what does it mean? It means that obviously we'll cut out this part here, this small part here, and obviously I'll see the surface this side and also the surface this side. Those two arrows indicate the direction of view. Obviously that means I'll see this surface this side and also this surface, right? Obviously this is our question, so it's very important for you to try and analyze these views and try and visualize, create an image in your mind. So if you check here, this is the top, this is the front, and this is the left view of the object. I have this portion here and the portion in the middle. This portion is as a circular part, and also this portion as well. So I have one, two, three portions that are joined together, right? So obviously I know that this part is this circular part there, looking from the left view, and obviously from the front, as it will look the same as from the top view. And then when it comes to this portion here, looking from the left view, I can see that I have a hexagon shape there, right? A smaller one and a bigger one. So those two shapes, obviously the smaller hexagon is right there, right? The surface of that hexagon, and obviously this bigger hexagon is right there, right? Okay, so obviously we are given the starting point S, and remember we have to cut this object, right? We have to look at the cutting plane. Where is point S? Point S is right there from the left view, and point S is there from the front view. And remember the cutting plane, from the left view, the cutting plane will cut this object in the middle there, right? So that means I'll remove this half part of this object, but I will not cut everything. Obviously, remember the cutting plane is from here all the way up to there, right? So that means I'll only remove this part only. This hexagonal part will stay in place because obviously the cutting plane is not cutting through that part there, right? Okay, so I'll start with this part here. I'll start with point S because I do have that point on my answer sheet, is right there, and I'll just try and construct this surface, this eye shape there, right? Because this point is on that surface, right? That eye shape. So I'll just construct that eye shape on my isometric sheet. Okay, so what's the width of this part? It's given there, it's 26. So I'll just quickly draw this in light construction. So the length is 26. So I can just take my 30 by 60 and draw a light construction line, and also the vertical line there, and also this one this side. Okay, so I'll mark off 26 there like that and draw a vertical construction line. Remember, I'm trying to draw this eye shape, right? Okay, so what's the length or the height of this eye shape? Are we given from the left view? No, we are not given, but I can use this 25 because this 25 is from there all the way up to there, right? So I can measure 25, but what about this part there? What's the thickness of that part? So that part, if I take my ruler, this edge there, it aligns with what? That corner there. So that means this thickness here, it's 5 millimeters. So it's 25 plus 5 millimeters. That gives us 30. So obviously the height will be 30. So I can just mark off 30 there. Draw a construction line there like that, and then obviously the thickness of that part is 5, and also here it's 5. It's given from the front view there, so just mark off 5 down there, and then from that point going down 5, right? And then I'll just draw 2 construction lines there like that. Okay, good. And then now I'll just try and draw these 2 vertical lines there to complete my eye shape. So what's the thickness of that part there? Are we given the thickness? Yes. Where is it? It's from the top view there. So the thickness of that part of the rib, so this is a rib. Obviously looking from the front, I can see that this is a rib. Okay, so the thickness is 10. So I can just get the center point there. So remember, from here to there is 26. Half of 26 is 13. So I'll mark 13 there, and the thickness is 10. So I'll just mark off 5 going to my left side, 5 going to my right side. And then there I can just draw 2 vertical lines, right? Okay, it's very important for me to draw that center line there, because remember, we are cutting this object in the middle there. Okay, so now I do have this eye shape in light construction, right? So now I will just cut the half of this eye shape. That means obviously I'll be left with the left hand side section, and then this section from the right hand side will be removed. So I can just draw that using what? Solid lines like that. So I'll just draw from the center point there. Obviously the half piece is removed with this other one, so I will just draw this part here like that. Like that. Like that. Okay, so obviously this part is removed, so I will leave it as it is in light construction. And then from here I can just project this point up, and this point here, and also the point there, and the top part there, just like that. Okay, so now let's check. Looking from the front view, I can see that this part here, it's this slanted surface there. So obviously I must just try and draw that small triangle there. So now what's the height of the triangle? It's given there from the left view. It's 28 from this line, and this line, remember, is this one here. So I can measure 28 going up there, right? So I can mark off 28 there. Okay, and let me just draw this up, this line. So I have the 28 there, so I can just take it down to this line. Okay, from here I can just project that point up, right? So this is the height of the triangle, right? It's that 28 there. So now what's the length from here to this line? Are we given? Yes, we are given. From the top view there, it's 35, right? So I'll have to measure 35 going up. So I'll mark off 35 there and draw what? A vertical line there, like that. Okay, so now that means I have the length. This point, it's this point there. I hope we're still together. So this point, it's this point, and this point right there, it's this point there, right? So it means that I can just connect the 2 points, right? From here all the way down to there, right? Okay, so obviously this is a non-isometric line because this line is not drawn using the 30 by 60. So it's a non-isometric line, just like that, right? And then from there I can just project this up. And then what's the thickness there? I can measure, if I forgot, it's 13. So I can just mark off 13 up there. That means I have a point. And remember, this is a slanting surface, right? We have cut this part out. We are left with this part this side, right? So this point here, it's there. And then this point is right there. So I can just connect those two there. Just like that. Okay, perfect. And then I can just close that like that. Okay, I'm getting somewhere. Okay, now I'll have to construct the lower portion there, this part, but obviously that part will be just a flat surface all the way down there. So that means I can just extend that vertical line down to there, to that point there. Okay, and then from there let's see what we can do. Obviously after this we have this circular part, which is this circle here, right? Okay, so before that, let me just draw this outline solid, so that I can just draw that circular part. So I'll just draw this using solid lines, okay, like that. And then if you check, this is a rib here, this part here, and also this part is a rib. But from the memo, this part, like this triangle there, is sectioned. I don't know why, because this is also a rib. So obviously I will not section or hatch that triangle there. I will leave it open, and also this part here, I won't hatch that part, I'll leave it open, right? But I'll just hatch this part there and that part there, right? So obviously that means from here I can just draw an outline, solid line there, and also there, because obviously this rib is from here all the way up to there. So I will leave this part open without hatching that part. Why? Because it's a rib. Okay, even this triangle there, I'll just leave this triangle open, and then I'll just hatch this part. So let me just use my 45-degree set square and hatch this part right away, like that. Okay, just like that, and also up there. Okay, just like that. So I'm done with this section. So now I'll move to the circular part. So what's the diameter? The diameter is 88. Okay, fine. That means I'll have to construct an isometric square. But now I'll have to have the center lines first. So where's the center point of the circle? The center point is right there. So right there, right? Okay, so I'll use that point as my reference to get the center point on my isometric section, on my isometric drawing. So obviously this point is on that line, is on this line. So I'll use this line going up. That means this is our center point. Let me just draw something there. So this is my center point for that circle. So obviously I'll take my 30/60 set square and draw a light construction line there. This line will be my center line, right? Okay, and then obviously the vertical center line will be just right there, like that, right? So I have two center lines there. Obviously these are not center lines, but let's assume that these are the center lines, right? Because obviously you can see that these are faint lines. Okay, so because I have the center point and the diameter of the circle is 88, and half of 88 is 44, right? So that means from this center point I'll mark off 44 going down, 44 going up, 44 on that line, 44 going down, right? Okay, because I'm trying to construct the isometric square so that I can just construct my isometric circle. So it's 44, 44 is right there. And then from the center going up, I mark there 44. And then from the center going up, I mark there 44. And also going down, I'll mark there 44. Okay, from those points I can just draw a square in light construction, just like that. Please make sure you can see the square. So I'll just draw the square. This is our isometric square. Okay, let me just move it a little bit. Okay, so this is a point, this is a point, this is a point, this is a point. So this is my square. So obviously I'll draw the circle within this square. So obviously by now you should know the constructions for an isometric circle. So because now I have this square, and remember we are cutting this object there, that means the half of the circular part is removed. I'll be left with that part on my left hand side, right? So that means I'll be left with half of the circle, but the left hand side section, this section will be removed. So obviously I'll only draw the arc on my left hand side. So first I'll just do the constructions. So obviously I draw a line from that point all the way down to that opposite point there, right? And then from that line I'll have to intersect the line, this line, by drawing a straight line from that point to this point there. Remember, this is the center line, right? So I can just draw a line there like that. So where the two lines intersect, that means I'll put my compass there to draw the arc up there, right? And then the arc down there, obviously I'll put my compass at that point. So now I'm done with the constructions because I'm not drawing the other half of the circle because that part is removed, right? I hope that makes sense. So I'll take my compass. So okay, I'll put my compass at that point there to that point up there. So let me adjust my compass so I can just draw the arc there like that, from this point up to there, right? And then this lower part there, I'll put my compass there, right? So obviously remember this part is in front, that means from here to down there I won't see that arc, so I'll just put my compass there to that point there, right, to this point here, and obviously I'll draw the arc all the way down to that point. So obviously I'll only see that edge all the way up to there and also there, but here obviously I won't see the arc or the edge because of this section right in front. Okay, so now what I can do is I can just draw a line going up to there and then even here down to that point. Okay, and then now what's the thickness of the part, the circular part? The thickness is given from the top view is 20. So from there I can just measure 20. I can just draw a line using my 30 by 60. And then from there, let me just draw a line as well here. Okay, from there I can mark off 20 there like that, draw a vertical line there. Okay, and then obviously that means now I'll have to draw an arc as well up there, right? So make sure you pay attention, just observe. So I'll take my 30 by 60, right, and then I'll move it all the way to where the arc ends or start. So obviously it's there. So from there I'll just draw a line, light construction like that, right? I hope you can see that line. It's there, light construction. So okay, so now obviously the arc that I'll draw there will start at that point. Obviously that arc will end on that line, right? So now remember, for this arc here, where did I put the compass? I put my compass there, right? Okay, so from that point, that very same point, I can just draw a line going up and measure the thickness of that circular part, which is 20. That means I'm moving this point 20 units going up, right? Because thickness of that circular part is 20, right? So obviously that means I'm moving my compass to there. That means now I'll put my compass there to draw the arc up there. I hope it makes sense. Then now I'll put my compass there to that point there and then draw the arc from the point to where, to that line, right? So there I can just connect this by drawing a line using my 30 by 60 like that. Okay, and then I can just connect those 2 points like that, So obviously the half of the circle is cut, so that's where we've cut the circle, right? Okay, and then I'll also draw a line down there like that, and then from there I can just draw a line going down to there like that. Okay, so I think I'll have to hatch that part as well. So that means I made a mistake here. I have to erase this line because it's the same surface, that line and that line there. I have to erase this too. Yeah, just like that. Let me just draw that out. Okay, so I'll just continue with the hatching there. Let me just start down there.